Okay, so we've seen a lot of news about the new stimulus bill, the $1,200 checks, and the extra $600 per week in unemployment insurance that you will be receiving. But there's been a ton of questions out there, and in this video, I'm going to answer as many of them as I can. I'm going to tell you when you're going to be receiving your stimulus check and when you're going to be receiving those extra unemployment insurance benefits. So if you haven't seen my other videos on unemployment insurance or the new stimulus check, be sure to check those ones out first. Ask me any questions you have in the comments below and I'll do my best to respond to them. And with that, my name is not Zach Woods, it's Kevin Conway, and I make personal finance videos like this one all the time. I always give my honest take and give you the full breakdown of new financial products, ways to invest, ways to make passive income, real estate investing, and basically anything having to do with money. So if you like that sort of thing, be sure to subscribe to the channel, give a like to this video, and share it with whoever you think it might benefit. Now let's get into it. So let's start with the stimulus check. As you probably are aware, all Americans and permanent residents are eligible to receive a $1,200 stimulus check, provided that they make less than $75,000 individually or less than $150,000 as a married couple, and they are not claimed as a dependent on anyone else's tax return. You'll also get an additional $500 for every kid that is under the age of 17. Also, just to be clear, if you have people who are above the age of 16, even if they're your parents, grandparents, or even if they're your kids, and you claim them as a dependent on your tax return, you are not eligible to get that additional $500. You don't get an additional $500 for dependents that are above the age of 16. This payment includes to those that are on Social Security or disability benefits. They also get a stimulus check. And this is cash to you. It's not a loan, it is cash to you, and it doesn't affect your 2020 tax return. So that's great and all, but when do you actually get the money in hand? I was a little skeptical when I first heard about this stimulus bill, so I can understand you being skeptical as well, but here it is. The first big round of stimulus checks are going to be out next week. That is April 14th. If the IRS has your direct deposit information and you have filed in 2018 or 2019, then you will likely be receiving that stimulus check automatically deposited into your account. There's nothing that you need to do if you have filed in 2018 or 2019. You could probably expect to see that stimulus check in your account next week. Now, the IRS just did something. They released a website, a portal where you can actually go in and enter your information if you haven't filed for 2018 or 2019 and you don't plan on filing a tax return. You can actually go to this website, enter your information, and then you will have the information in their system and you will be prioritized to get your stimulus check. The IRS is also launching on April 17th a program called Get My Payment, which when it comes out, I will update it in the link in the description below, and you will be able to actually track your stimulus check and actually see when you're going to get it, whether it's going to be direct deposit or via mail. And if they don't have your direct deposit information, they will send you a physical check. So be sure the IRS has your direct deposit information. If the IRS does not have your direct deposit information, then they are going to send you a physical check and they are going to prioritize those who have made historically the lowest amount of money, and then they're going to work up from there. And you want to be able to be sure that they have your direct deposit information, because if you had made 50, 60, 70 grand, you are not going to be getting a physical check in the mail for quite some time. I'm going to tell you right now. If you made less than $10,000, you can expect to get your check around April 24th. If you made between $10,000 and $20,000, you can expect to receive the physical check around May 1st. Between $20,000 and $30,000, expect around May 8th. And for everyone else, it'll trickle in over the months all the way until September. Again, this is why you want to ensure that the IRS has your direct deposit information. If you need an idea for a great bank to actually get, I have many review videos in my channel where I talk about good bank accounts to get. One of my favorites is SoFi Money. I've had it for quite some time. Free to use, free ATMs. Check those ones out if you don't have a bank already, just so you can get your direct deposit information set up and ready to go. With all of this being said, waiting and waiting and waiting can create some anxiety, and you may be tempted to actually call the IRS, or if you get a call from someone purporting to be from the IRS, you might want to pick up the phone, but do not do that. The IRS will never call you, text you, email you, or reach out to you via Instagram, Facebook, or some other social media platform in order to get information from you. They will never, ever do that. If you get it, it is a scam. So there's the information on the stimulus check. Okay, so what about unemployment insurance benefits? They've been greatly expanded, as I talked about in my previous video, to cover a whole lot more people. and they're going to pay people a lot more money, a minimum of $600 per week more than they would have been eligible for under the old unemployment insurance plan. To recap, here's how it works. If you had a traditional W-2 job before, you are eligible to receive your state's unemployment insurance plus an extra $600 per week if you have been let go for a reason covered under the CARES Act. All of these reasons have to do with the pandemic. Have you been let go from your job? Have your hours been reduced? Yes, you don't actually have to lose your full job. You can just have your hours reduced. Have your commissions been reduced? Have you been unable to get to your work? Have you been unable to actually go to work because your child no longer has childcare? Any of those reasons are now covered under the CARES Act. Furthermore, you get an additional 13 weeks of state unemployment insurance on top of what you normally would have received. So most states are 26 weeks, you're gonna get 39 weeks. Furthermore, you're also eligible for the $600 in pandemic unemployment insurance on top of what you'd receive from your state. This will continue every single week until July 31st, and after that, you're not able to get any of the $600 per week. The law also expanded to include self-employed individuals, independent contractors, gig workers, all of those individuals who were not traditionally covered under unemployment insurance previously. But those individuals have been facing a very tough time actually getting the unemployment insurance benefits because a lot of these states are not set up to receive these applications from those type of workers. When you go to enter your information, they don't have an option for 1099 workers, and that's complicating things for a lot of individuals. So here's the deal with independent contractors. If you are an independent contractor and you've lost your job or had your hours reduced or had your work inhibited some way by the pandemic and you want to get those unemployment insurance benefits, just hang tight. Your state is likely behind on getting these sort of applications up and ready just for you to apply. But don't worry, because your unemployment insurance benefits will be paid at a retroactive basis. You're gonna get all of that back pay from the time that you actually receive your first unemployment insurance check. So if you've been waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks, super frustrating, totally get it, but your state is likely behind on getting all of those forms up and running. But you will get your money, and you will get it for all of the weeks that you have been missing out of from the date of the time that you lost your job. I totally get that it's frustrating, but keep trying to apply because eventually you're going to be able to get through. The state unemployment insurance offices are totally overwhelmed right now, so really there's nothing they can do. People have been calling, have been emailing, have been trying to fill out things online, but it's been jammed. Just keep trying and you will get it. So with all of that being said, when are you gonna actually see that $600? Fortunately, if you live in New York, you are already beginning to see it. If you live in California, you'll begin to see it in the next few days. Illinois, Indiana, Alabama, all of these states are now rolling out this additional $600 in pandemic unemployment insurance in the very, very near future. Expect it in the next week or two at the absolute most. Some other things to realize about the unemployment insurance benefits expansion. If you live in another state, but you work in one state, apply to the state in which you work in. Also, partial unemployment counts under the CARES Act. If you've lost part of your job, if you've had your hours reduced, or you've been told to only work a couple days of the week, or you've lost a lot of your business as a self-employed individual, whatever it may be, yes, you are eligible under the CARES Act. Apply and you will be eligible for that additional $600 plus whatever your state would have paid you, or you are going to be calculated under the formula, the state formula that I mentioned in my previous video if you're an independent contractor. If you had two jobs and you lost one of them, the law actually makes it so that you probably are eligible under the CARES Act for that portion of your job. Apply anyway. And that's kind of the message. If you are uncertain about whether or not you qualify, just go ahead and apply because ultimately your state is going to make the determination based upon the guidelines and guidance that they have received from the federal government on the newly passed CARES Act. Now, with all that being said, the CARES Act left a lot of gray area. There's not a whole lot of guidance that the states have. So they're really doing the best that they can. Just kind of apply and see where you can go because right now it's kind of the wild, wild west with a lot of these states and what they're counting as eligible and ineligible for benefits, but there's no harm in just applying anyway. Also, just to be clear, you only need to apply to your state. You do not need to apply federally in order to receive these expanded benefits. There's only one application. It's with the state in which you work. That's all you need to fill out in order to get all of these other benefits, including the expanded unemployment insurance weeks and the increased benefits. Also, if you've exhausted your unemployment insurance benefits, apply again because you likely are eligible for the additional 13 weeks in state unemployment insurance benefits as a result of this expansion. Also, if you have PTO hours or you have vacation time, you must use up all of that before you can actually file for unemployment if you've been furloughed or let go in some manner. The short answer is if you are getting paid, you're not eligible for unemployment insurance benefits. That is, if you're getting paid at the full rate that you were before the pandemic hit. This includes things like voluntary layoffs, which I don't even know what that is, but I've gotten many comments about it. If you're not getting paid, you're eligible for unemployment insurance benefits. If you're being paid the full amount, you're not. Also, if you're an essential worker, like if you work at a grocery store and you work there and you would be making more unemployed, it's kind of unfortunate, but the law makes it so that you can't just quit your job and get unemployment insurance benefits unless you fit into one of the categories that the CARES Act actually requires you to meet in order to get the unemployment insurance benefits. I've listed them in a previous video if you want to check them out. And yes, it doesn't matter if you make more on unemployment than you did when you were employed. It doesn't matter, you're still gonna get that full amount. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Leave any questions that you have, and also leave me any video ideas that you want me to cover. I love getting video ideas from the comments below. I make videos all the time, and I do my best to respond to all the comments that I can. So be sure to leave a comment, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and share the video with whoever you think it might benefit. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.